Okay, welcome to Ultimate Project number 9. This is going to be the last in my series of Ultimate Frisbee videos. Today what we're going to look at is the positioning of the deep downfield players on O in zone. What you see a lot when you watch teams play is the deep O player is in the middle of the field standing right next to the deep defensive player. In my opinion, this isn't good for a couple of reasons. One, it takes the deep O player essentially out of the point completely, nowhere to cut. Not really a threat to do anything. Secondly, it makes the deep defender's job very easy. You can just stand in the middle of the field shutting everything down. You're already taking away one of their players, and you can cut off a lot of stuff too because the player you're taking away isn't a threat to begin with. What I much prefer is having two people deep down the field on each sideline, which I've drawn here in the black dots. And in this video, we're going to take a look at what happens when your deep players stay wide. Several examples. The first one is Brute versus Stella 2009 No Borders. This was the first clip in Ultimate Project number 1 where we focused on the positioning of this wing, this downfield wing after the disc went across the field. In this clip we're going to focus on something different. We're going to focus on the positioning of the deep defender. I've drawn approximately where I think she is when that disc goes up. I think she's about a third of the way across the field, but I want you to watch it a couple times and see for yourself. There's a couple of trees in the background that are helpful in sort of marking her position because it's going to be important to compare it in the next clip. So take a look at this clip all the way through, but in particular what I want you to notice is the positioning of Stella's deep defender when that disc goes up. Okay, here's the clip.
Let's go out!
Okay, that's one of my favorite clips from all of my 3 years with Brute Squad, so I'm glad I got it to be in 2 videos. This next clip is the next offensive point Brute had, so 2 points later, and you're going to see some deep, wide positioning again by the Brute Squad players here, and this time notice that Anne from Stella is playing in the middle of the field. And guess what happens? Now, when the disc swings over here, this whole sideline's open, but Anne knows she has to respect, this time I think it's Blake over there, and the disc goes right up the sideline for 30, 40 yards. Very nice play. But this is what having these deep people staying wide does, although admittedly Blake is sort of coming into the middle here. It puts pressure on that deep wing, or the deep. The point before on D, she gave up a big crossfield pass and we scored immediately. This time she's playing 10 yards further over, and now we have a pass that goes straight up the line. So take a look at this clip.
Yeah, I'm so pissed. I am pissed.
Okay, so that last clip was there to emphasize how, when you keep your players wide and that deep has to respect that crossfield throw, how her positioning changes and it opens up the field for other things. It's very important to see how that works. Now this next clip shows really just a little thing that can go wrong even when you have a good cut and a good thrower. So here, this is Brute Squad versus Capitals 2010 Philly Fusion, the pool play game on Saturday, and Brute's going down the field this way. Raina gets the disc on the sideline here, and Dom is on the other side of the field with a really nice unguarded cut into the end zone. And what goes wrong is Raina throws the disc sort of to where Dom is, rather than throwing it sort of out into space, and we end up missing. Now, two things, easy corrections here. One, the throw just needs to go out to space. You're not trying to throw it to your cutter. She's unguarded. She's running into the end zone. Just put the disc straight upfield into the end zone. The other thing is to, just in case, Dom's cut can stay wider. She can just go straight up the field and then come across that way. There's no need to come into the middle of the field. Let your thrower see you. Keep your cut wide. That disc goes out to space, and this will be complete much more often. But when you're the thrower, just remember, you're not trying to throw to the person, you're just trying to put it out into the end zone. And when you're the cutter, also remember, you don't need to come across so quickly. Just stay wide and then come in and get the disc. So let's take a look at this clip. This clip is going to show how to correct the problem we had the last time, or maybe not how to correct it, but a much better throw out to space. This is Brute Squad versus Zeitgeist at 2010 ECC. I've drawn, in the blue dot is the position of the deep Zeitgeist player, and to be honest, it looks like her position is reasonably good. She's playing way in, very aggressive, like I like, but Brute is also playing very effectively. You see Kathy Dobson wide on this side of the field. What you don't see when the clip starts is Blake wide on this side of the field. And the Zeitgeist deep defender just forgets about Blake for just a second as Raina gets the disc. Blake's going to make a beautiful cut deep to the end zone. And Raina doesn't throw it to where Blake is this time, so the throw doesn't go over here. It just goes straight up the field, and Blake is able to just run underneath it. Beautiful. This is perfect execution of Zono. And again, it just shows how easy you make your life when you stay wide and force the deep defender to make decisions. Here the decision was, I'm going to let them stay wide, and the result is a goal for Brute Squad. Okay, that was such a beautiful play from Raina to Blake. Another one of my favorite plays from last season. Last clip we're going to take a look at is Brute Squad versus Bent at 2010 Northeast Regionals. This ends up being a very similar play. It's also Blake running deep. I'm not exactly sure what zone Bent's playing here. It might be a clam. I'm not 100% sure, so I can't quite call this Bent defender the deep defender, but she is a deep defender. And you'll see she's right with Blake. And I'm going to show you this clip from both sides of the field. And you'll see Blake even tries to go deep early, and she goes right with her and stops her. But Blake stays wide. She doesn't appear to be a threat at all, and the Bent defender forgets about her for just a second while the disc is on the other side of the field. It doesn't seem very risky, but Blake's gone. We don't score this time. The disc doesn't get all the way down the field, but we're on the goal line. Blake takes a timeout, and we scored right after that. So I'm going to leave you with these last two clips. This is Brute versus Bent, 2010 Northeast Regionals. You're going to see the play from both sides of the field. And the purpose of this video here is just to show how keeping people deep and wide on the sidelines can really produce powerful threats against zone defenses. So I appreciate everyone watching these clips and watching these videos I've made. I've really had a fun time doing it, and I hope they've been useful for you. Thanks very much.
Yeah.